Welcome everyone to the game between Magnus Carlsen and Vishy Anand at the Superunited Rapid and Blitz, which is happening in Croatia as a part of the Grand Chess Tour. Now, Magnus had beaten Vishy at the Global Chess League, and everyone was looking forward to this battle. Vishy was also in great form. He was the sole leader of the tournament before this sixth round. He was on 8 out of 10, and Magnus was playing on 4 out of 10. He was not at all in good form. He had lost to Caruana and Firouzja on the same day. So this was the last rapid game of the day. Let's go to the game and see what happened. Magnus opens the game with 1 e4. Vishy, playing with black, plays the Caro Kann. d4, d5, and now takes, and Magnus puts his bishop on d3. This is known as the exchange variation in Caro Kann, and Vishy now plays knight c6, attacking the d4 pawn. Magnus defends it with c3, and generally in this position, black plays either queen c7 to stop bishop f4 or knight f6. In both these lines, the idea is that you are not closing down your bishop with the move e6. You want to develop it here and then later play e6 and then get the bishop out. But Vishy instantly played the move e6. And this is quite a, you can say, passive line, but at the same time has ideas later on, which is we'll see in the game. Magnus puts his bishop here, Vishy comes out and trades. And the main idea in this position is that you can play knight e7, later f6 and e5 and open up this bishop. That's how black wants to play. Magnus develops knight f3, but it's a dangerous way to play against Magnus because already white is slightly better. Knight e7, castles. And Magnus has played this position with black at the Chennai Olympiad against Daniel Vocaturo, and in that game he had gone bishop d7, rook e1, castles, knight e5, takes, queen b6, and later on that game ended in a draw. In fact, Magnus was under some pressure there. So Magnus knows this opening with black, castles, rook e1, and here Vishy took some time, and Magnus has played this with white before against Levan Pansulai, where he played knight g6, and Magnus has taken and played knight e5, and there he had played against this bishop and had won it against Levan. This happened at chess.com very recently, in fact in 2023. So f6 was played by Vishy, and Vishy's idea is very simple. He wants to play e5. Now I was thinking to myself that Magnus would try to stop it. So try to take some time. It's white to play. Pause this video and figure out what would you do here. White to move. Now one idea is to play queen e2 to stop e5. But then most likely Anand would play knight g6, threatening knight f4, g3 to stop it, e5, a pawn sacrifice. Actually, this is a very interesting line, because now you take, pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, knight takes, and now this very important move, rook e8, pinning f4, and now you play g5, and black has very good compensation for the missing pawn here. However, in the game, Magnus found this very nice move. I really liked it, which is c4. And this is kind of the knee-jerk reaction to the move f6. And if you have seen d4 openings with white, sometimes, white plays f3 and black goes c5. It's the same concept here. The moment you go f6, c4 makes a lot more sense. Imagine that in this position, black goes bishop d7, c4 would make no sense, because after take, this pawn is no longer weak. It is well protected. But after c4 takes, now this pawn is slightly weak here with the bishop, and that's the reason why you play it. Okay, so now Vishy plays the move knight f5. Very interesting move, very provocative move, attacking d4. Try to think what would you do here as white. I think this was a key moment of the game, and Magnus finds this very nice move, d5. And the reason why I like it is not because, it's a natural move, you save your pawn, but you have to look at knight a5 move. And I think Magnus assessed this position very well, that drop your bishop back, and after, let's say, ed5, you can play queen c2. If the knight moves, then the h7 pawn is hanging. So let's say you go back, knight c3, rook a d1, and you can see for one pawn, black is completely tied up and in big trouble. It's a d4, knight e2. Also, if here you take with the queen, I go knight c3. It's a similar concept. I'm going to use my piece activity with moves like rook c1, knight c7 to put you under big pressure. He took here in the game Vishy. He did not go knight a5. Magnus now took with the bishop, which makes a lot of sense, keeping the queens, and he developed. And the thing is, in such positions, you are slightly worse. And against many of the opponents, it would not be a big problem. But against Magnus, it is a big issue. And Magnus starts playing so well. Bishop d7. He puts his queen on b3, putting pressure here, and also with the idea of rook d1. So Vishy drops queen back, rook d1, and now I was thinking Vishy would go rook a e8 to trade a pair of rooks, get more pieces off the board, but he went rook a d8, which is also fine. Magnus's next move is really amazing. I'm a big fan of this next move, and you can try to think what would you do, because it would teach you a lot about how to play in slightly better positions. So personally, I thought that Magnus should already start doing something with maybe knight jumping to b5 or maybe queen a3, looking at these squares a bit. But Magnus thought right now black cannot improve his position and I can, so I'll do h3. And this is a very good move, because in later on the back rank issues are solved because of this very smart move. He went bishop c8, queen a3. And now I was thinking a6 might have been an idea, but then queen c5 keeps the pressure. So he went knight e7. And now Magnus jumps in, attacks the queen. Queen comes up here. And now there were two options to do. One was to take on c6, knight c6, and put the knight on d6, where white is slightly better, pressing here. The other option which was tried by Magnus in the game was to take on a7, and this is nothing but trying to deflect this knight so that the knight on e7 would hang. Now if rook takes d5 would be played here, then after rook takes d5 it's lost because you can't take here, your rook is hanging, mate. So you have to play knight takes d5. Here I play knight takes c8, rook takes d5. And now Vishy finds this nice move, rook 8. You need to defend your pawn on a2, and so he played the move queen b3, but take, and we reach this position. I thought Vishy has very good chances to hold a draw here. Especially I felt he should have started off with rook fd8. Trade one pair of rooks, and then check rook b1, b4, g5, getting rid of back rank issues. And here there are good holding chances in the game, but Vishy played rook f7, and you will see how Magnus makes his next move too good. Like really, this was amazing. Rook e4. The idea is to stop knight b4 tricks and get ready for b4, b5. King g8, b4. And I think this is where Vishy missed his chance, final chance I would say. Not like final, but here he could have great chances to hold the game if he went rook a4. And the point is now b5 is not possible because rook is hanging. I guess what Vishy did not like is that now it is unpinned and you can still go b5. However, After knight a5 or knight or rook a5, again pinning, the position still remains quite complex. This might be a way to hold this game, but Vishy went rook d8, takes. It was also okay to go into a knight endgame, which is complex, but Magnus brings his king in. Very good play. A king is a piece in the endgame. Let's get it. If you are able to get your king this way, you would be better. Vishy also brings his king, but the problem is the black king is cut off while the white king can move up. King f7, knight d4. It's these little things which are adding to white's advantage. This weakness here, the knight jumping here, the knight could come here, the rook cutting the king off. So knight c6 was played, and now take. And one would imagine that rook endgame should be easier for black to hold than with the knights. But here, because of the king being so active, it's not working out. Rook c4, good move. Rook d4. And here I was analyzing this endgame, which might have worked if black gets the move b5. But it's not possible because after king c4, king c6, I play b5. Very good move. Like if you play g4 here, b5, this is a draw. But b5, king here, b6, good move. h4. And now king here. And somehow in this variation, you are able to sort of get this winning. Just made an illustrative line to show you that white is able to queen and also b2 pawns up. But even rook b6, he didn't exchange, but then Magnus went in with a check. King here. And now the king is stopped, but Magnus manages to give a check. King activated, and a nice move now to transform this, because you need only one pawn, and black has no counter play. My pawn starts to run, and king is coming here, pawn up, and wins. So here Vishy Anand resigned. Magnus managed to beat Anand once again. Vishy, no matter how well he plays, he's always facing trouble from Magnus. He's now on 8 out of 12 and joined by Nepo and Nepo and Caruana at 8 out of 12 at the top. Gukesh has moved up the ladder. He's on 7 out of 12, doing really well. And on the last day, Vishy will face Gukesh as one of the games out of 3. He will also face Duda and Nepo. It's going to be a very exciting last day of Rapid. Join us for the live stream. But for now, this is Sagar Shah signing off. If you enjoyed this analysis, do like the video and do subscribe to ChessBase India. Take care, guys. Bye bye.